Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about verbs. Even in the previous class, we had discussed about parts of speech, and I told you about 8 parts of speech, and also I told you about verb. And today we are going to discuss again about verb. Verb is very, very important to speak in English, children, because if you want to speak in English, verbs play a very important role. Okay, for example, నువ్వు బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ ఉదయం తిన్నావు. ఓకే, ఐ ఈట్ బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ ఇన్ ద మార్నింగ్. జనరలీ చిల్డ్రన్ స్పీక్ లైక్ దట్ ఇఫ్ దే డోంట్ నో హౌ టు put the tense in the right form. You ate, okay, you ate the breakfast in the morning. So you don't say eat, you say I ate in the morning. So there, if you keep eat, it is wrong, because the verb is having the past. It is already, action is already completed. It is past. So you have to say ate. So today, once again, I want to discuss, okay, these verbs, because in your life, these are very, very important to speak in English. Okay, so when to keep the verb? If it is in present tense, you have to keep the present form of the verb. If it is past tense, you keep the past tense of the verb in your sentence. If it is future, will plus present tense you have to take. Okay, that already I discussed and then told you in the previous class. We'll have one more class about these verbs, okay, how to keep or what tense they have. Today we are going with again verbs. Okay, now here if you see here, children, verbs. Verbs means all action words. All action words. Any word which is having action is called as a verb, children. Any word, okay, if it is having action, that's called as a, okay, verb. And today these verbs are divided into 2 types. How many types, children? 2 types. Okay, verbs are again divided into 2 types. The first one we call it as a regular verb or regular verbs. Okay, the first one is a regular verb, and the second one is called as irregular verbs. Okay, first one is regular and the second one is irregular. If I ask you a question, how many types of verbs are there, you should know that there are 2 types. Okay, one is regular and other is irregular. Okay, what is regular verb means, or what is the meaning of regular verbs? Okay, past tense form of the verbs are formed by adding. Okay, if you take the present tense of the verb and this verb, if you are changing it into past tense, you have to add d or ed, okay, to the present form. If you look here, children, present tense of the form is here. You can see here decide, stop, receive, dance, kick, jump. All these words are in present tense. When you change it into past tense here, children, according to this rule, the present tense of the verb should be added d or ed. That's what I'm talking about here. Present tense of the form, if you are changing it into past tense, this present tense of the verb compulsorily should add d or ed. Then you call that verb as regular verb, children. That verb is called as a regular. We'll go with one example here. D-E-C-I-D-E. D-E-C-I-D-E. And here, if I want to change the present tense of decide to past tense, I take D. So according to this rule, children, we said that if the present tense of the form, if you want to change it into past tense, if you add d, that is called as a regular verb. So I added d here, decided. Decide is present tense, decided is past tense. So this is a regular form of the verb. We'll go with one more example here. Stop. S-T-O-P-P-E-D. Stop. So what I took here, children? Ed. Ed. So present tense of the form, if you are taking ed form or d form end of the past tense, then this is called as a regular verb. Okay, we'll go with one more example. R-A-C-E-I-V-E. So receive is present tense. Received, I am taking here d. According to the rule, if you take d or ed. So I took d here. Then it changed into past tense. So since it is ending with a d or adding d, it is a regular form of the verb. We'll go with one more. dance, dance. It is present tense. If you want to change it to past tense, we are taking what, children? D. So according to the rule, if you are adding d to past tense, then it is called as a regular verb. One more example. kick, kick. Present tense is kick. So past tense is kicked. We are adding ed. Ed means here, if you add ed to present tense to change it into past tense, if you add ed, kicked. So it is called as a regular verb. Last example. jumped, jumped. Jump is present tense. For this I took ed. If you are adding ed, children, to past tense, then we call it as a regular verb. I think you got the clarity how to change it. Okay, present tense of the verb to past tense, then it changes to a regular, and okay, you have to take d or ed. So I took here d, I took ed, I took d here, I took d here, ed. So these verbs are called as regular verbs. Present tense, if you are changing it into past tense, you have to add d or ed. So this is the way how you change present tense to past tense, okay, to make it regular. Let's go back to, okay, the second form we have discussed about regular. I think you got how to change present tense to past tense, regular form. Now we are going to irregular form. Irregular form of the verbs mean, children, here the verbs which have different forms, okay, in the past tense are called irregular. From present tense, when you are changing into past tense, irregular form, and the entire word will change. Okay. So for example, we'll take, okay, sleep, slept, sick, sleep. The word sleep. So the entire word changed when you have taken in past tense. So that is different form is given here. Sleep, slept. Okay, different form. Eat, ate, the word changed. So the entire word changed. Okay, it's having different form. Okay, give, it is given as gave. So here, children, you have to identify one thing. Okay, don't be confused again. Okay, if the verb, present tense of the verb, if it is changing it to past tense, you are taking d or ed. But when you talk about irregular verb, children, when you take present tense and change it into past tense, the entire word will have the different forms. The entire word. Sleep, it's having a different form. Okay, eat, it's having a different form. Okay, give, it's having a different form. Sing, in past tense you call it as sang. The word changed, it's having a different form. Fall, it is fell. The entire word changed. Okay, so when present tense you want to change it into past tense, if the past tense of the verb is having different form, children, then that you call it as irregular verbs. Okay, so I think if I just give you one exercise, okay, you will understand better. Okay, you will understand. Okay, let's go back with an example here. How to write regular to irregular. Okay, present tense of the form is fall. Past tense is what, children? Fell. It is fell. So why I'm giving you this table is I want to give you an exercise to do homework. So this form I'll be giving. So when I give you this form, again you'll be confused. To avoid that, I'm just going with this table to identify how regular into irregular. Here present tense is given. Past tense is not I'll give you like this, dash. So what is the past tense form of fall? It is fell. It is not ending with d or ed. So it is called as a irregular form. So it is, you have to mention irregular verb. So write regular or irregular. Let's go back here. stopped. Already past form is given. What is the present form here? STOP, stop. And you have to see the past form. Present tense is stop. What is the past tense form here, children? Stopped. It is ending with ed. If it is ending with ed, okay, we call it as what, children? We call it as regular, because it is ending with ed. You should write regular verb. Okay. 8. Past tense is given. What is the present tense? It. Is it ending with d or ed? No. So it is called as what? Irregular verb. Look at this word, decide. What is the present tense? This is the present tense form of decide. What is the past tense form? D-A-C-I-D-E-D. So we are adding D. According to the rule, if you add D or ED, okay, it is called as a R-E-G-U-L-A, regular verb. This is the way, children, you will be given for the homework. Okay, this is the way you will be given homework. So do this exercise, what I am going to give you for homework, right, and then send it back to me. Thank you.